And then we can go into kind of my strategy, the way that I personally, how I've invested. I'm overall net positive in crypto, but I'm not a day trader.
yeah,
I'm I'm a
like a
swing
swing or
trader.
a long-term kind of thing.
Yeah, I take longer term trades just because I'm lazy.
Yeah,
I let the
hey, when you
I let I let the
safer,
bots do.
it's safer. Buy it when it's a good value, and then let it become a good value. I like that strategy. So that's all great. I like all that. I like all that. Um,
Great.
so you want to
Let me
start
do
with
less.
a little update on everybody. We look like we got everybody here. Hello, can you briefly explain fiat? Yeah, fiat's just the regular dollar. Whatever currency you're using, that's kind of standard bank. When you're on ramping that, you're going to go through an exchange to convert that into the crypto side, the digital side, where your dollar can be used to buy these different currencies. You're going to go in and typically you're doing USDC or USDT, depending on what currency you're tagging it with and pairing it with. But that's basically converting your US dollar or your Australian dollar, um, your basic currency or your what we're common with right now to um, the digital side. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So
Quick little poll in the chat. How many people are coming from Jackson Vanguard? Let me get a show of hands. How many people we got coming from my community?
yeah, we got 33. We got a good little showing. There's some hands clapping. Cool.
Yeah, we
Welcome
got
everybody.
Madison, we got Audrey. Let's go. We got Jose. We got
Nice.
Kirsten. We got Marique there. We got Sandy. We got all right. Yeah, there's Sean. There's Dawn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good
There's
little group.
who else? We got my John Mahia in the house. Let's go. We got Hidalgo. Let's go. We got Liana. We got Luke. Okay, we got Michelle in the house. We got
Thank you.
Valerie. Yeah, okay, cool. So we got quite a few of my community members in here.
Very cool.
Um,
Welcome everybody. I think you left out Katrina. Katrina, welcome.
yeah, sorry, Katrina.
You missed one, Leanna, everybody. So we're talking about TXC and Texacoin. It is, one of the startup cryptocurrencies, proof of work, meaning it's mined with physical mind, physical energy that is creating that hashing and that securing of that layer one network. The coin that it's yielding is called TXC, and it's the first one was mined in January of 24. So we're on the 2-year anniversary. It's a very very new project, and when you get these new projects, especially with a smaller community, once it goes to market, the market is the value of it is decided by the community, and until that community gets like the bigger growth and the outside participation, it's very volatile to swings, whether it be a macro event like we saw in October where the risk off kind of killed all of crypto and speculative assets, or if it's just from the project itself stalling, or even getting a singular bad event, kind of like TXC got with the cease and desist letter as it's getting um, investigated by the TSB, kind of thing. So one thing, since we brought that up, no need to hide from it. It is kind of a negative glare, a little dark cloud. But the focus of that is on the mining participation and how it was presented. The network and the coin is all kind of in the clear. It hasn't been targeted and hasn't been spotlighted. And the SEC's already cleared proof of work networks and proof of work mining and crowdfund mining. All that's already been cleared in the past. There's precedent set. So, in my eyes, I'm looking at the dark cloud and that gray just gave everybody a great opportunity to get into this. The whole fear in the streets, or when there's blood in the streets, buy real estate kind of thing. While everybody else is scared of the project, it's the time to jump in. I don't know if you have anything to add on that, Brendan.
I mean, no, it's you did a great job explaining it. One thing I did want to go over is um, potential causes as to why we saw the price have such a crazy amount of movement and why it went
Early.
from a really high upside down to the downside. And when Lonnie and I met earlier this week, we determined that it's very likely for two different reasons. One of the reasons is and this was done in good faith in my opinion, but it was a lack of market making experience on the project's part, particularly on the founder. He did basically he was showing us, and I remember seeing some of this in some meetings. He was showing us where he was putting in buy orders, and because he was showing where his buy orders were, people who had been holding the coin or had a substantial amount of holding of the coin sold into his buy orders and actually filled them completely. And so when that happened, that drove the price down because there wasn't any other substantial orders there to support the sell pressure. And so that drove the price down. And then, of course, when the cease and desist order came out, that created a lot of FUD. FUD stands for fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And so a bunch of people who lacked financial investment experience and crypto experience sold out of fear of losing. And so that caused a ton of sell pressure. And so those two things combined, also combined with just there were some outside parties that had been actively trying to defame the project. All of that combined created a lot of FUD. And so that drove, not only did that drive the price down, but that also drove away market participation. Yeah, panic selling, and now we're seeing just a low liquidity environment.
Yeah.
So that is,
Oh, good.
yeah. Does that sound pretty accurate as to why we see the price where it's at right now?
Yeah, I've been the advocacy that I've been saying is most of the price movement from TXC has been more affected from the buying side than the selling side. And and two, obviously the two have to go hand in hand to affect the market. There has to be a sell order and there has to be a buy order. And a market will always find a completed order. It's going to look for that liquidity to create a fulfilled order. And when TXC was early, it was on Dex Trade, which is one that you cannot sign up on very easily in the US and has very limited access. And then Bitmart, another one that was not allowed in the US without, some tricks and such, and some holes or hoops you had to jump through. And TXC being a US based project made it very made it very difficult for the US people who were actively looking at the project to be involved. And it wasn't until August of 25 when it finally got on a US friendly exchange that you could sign up directly and be able to participate in the market without having to do any kind of extra hurdles to jump through. So that limited the amount of buying and participation to where any singular sell order was magnified greatly, mostly because there was nothing to catch it. The support that comes up and establishes those support zones is from frequent buys and heavy consistent buying. And if there's no order placed, and then somebody wants to sell because they say they need, whether they have profit or, um, they have a vet bill that they got to go, and they're like, oh, I could sell some of my coins, and they look and they're like, oh, cool, it's at $1. I can sell a couple of these and get that money. And they hit market sell out of not realizing what they're doing, and they sell too many or more than could be, and it actually will push the price all the way down to maybe 60 cents or something if there's not enough buys underneath it to replace. And that's what you get in a new project is startup, where there's not a full order book. That order book of those buys, that builds and holds the floor to allow it to go. So yeah, as a proof of work coin that TXC was mined from zero, meaning that nothing was on the exchanges when it was introduced. So in order to entice coins to come out, that liquidity had to be presented. And so in the very, very beginning, that's where the project had to do that, where it's like, hey, we're gonna put, X amount of dollars. This is our liquidity reserve. at this price, we need you to sell into it, because they had to get those coins into the market. So that's where that came from. And it worked great in the beginning. But as it grew, there was some malicious intent, definitely, where people started milking it, um, and taking advantage of that. And it probably should have, maybe could have been a shift to not as transparent, maybe, but who knows? I mean, it is what it is, and we got enough coins in the market now, and they're circulating. So now the community can step in and participate and really prove that value, and that's what we're kind of doing. And one of the tools that we kind of hinted at in the beginning are these grid bots that PineX and Weebot offer, that kind of help build that order book up. So if you don't have anything to add, Brendan, I'm going to jump in there. But go ahead and add anything if you got anything.
The only thing that I will say is that we're going to be using certain terminology here, like order book and market order, limit order. You might hear some words, so feel free to drop in the chat if there's anything y'all don't understand while we
Yeah.
go along. Drop in
Raise
the
your hand
chat.
or throw it in the comment, and we'll help make sure that
Yeah, one of us will type something and reply while the other one is speaking, but I'm gonna let Lonnie show you guys how to set up we're gonna show you guys briefly how to set up a overview on grid set using the grid bot. I've already dropped the links for you guys to get your account set up. If you're in the United States, if you're outside the United States, you'll use Pionex. If you are in the United States, you'll use Weebot.com.
Mhm.
And if you need those links, feel free to to ask for it. We encourage, by the way, in our community, Lonnie, we're all about sharing affiliate links and
Oh, beautiful.
helping make money with each other. So I
Cool.
don't want the TEXIT community at large. I don't want you guys to feel like I'm trying to milk anybody or do anything. That's just the way we roll.
No,
If
that's
you
great.
yeah, if you already got an account, you're good.
You got him. So, like I said, one of the things that I do in my background, I like day trading options, and I use Robinhood because it's got a quick access to USDC, that stable coin that I can transfer into my crypto wallet very easily. And then also, if I ever want to deposit money, straight from my regular bank into this to be able to build my crypto account, it's a much quicker route than going through Weebot, Pinex, or some of these other smaller exchanges. So that's why I'm using Robinhood for this example. You can see right here, I already have a little bit of USDC, and I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna buy the 507 that I have. Review and then submit. Cool thing about that is it's really easy and simple because it's always $1, so you don't have to worry about trying to do anything crazy with that. Let me just come back out, make sure that I have it all. Boom. So then I'm going to use Weebot for my example, and I could jump into Pinex if anybody has it. I have both set up so that if we need to go into it, but for the Weebot we're looking at, this is your kind of screen. The home screen will be this. It'll come in, and you can come through here if you already have accounts. If you already have funds set into the account, you're going to go through this trade part, and you could either do the bot, the spot, or the convert. But I need to get the money in to the account first. Oops. Click too fast. So I want to receive crypto, and I'm sending USDC. So always make sure that you're checking your networks. So this one is able to accept ERC20, Solana, and Base. I like doing Solana. It's faster and typically has better fee rates. So if I'm on Robinhood, I hit this drop down arrow, and I'll go down to send and receive. And I am going to send, we'll do the 509. We'll just do 505. So I leave a little bit behind. And I need my address that I'm sending it to. I forgot to copy it. So right here, I'll hit copy. Sometimes it's nice if you're using your phone and you're doing your computer because you could do the QR code right here. But for this, I'm just going to copy it, come back over here and paste it. 505, I'm sending that. I always double, triple check. Solana is what I'm using. Continue. These are the lists that they can send through. I already pre-selected my Solana. review. It's going to tell me on my app, make sure that it's me. Normally, I'll have to hit submit though. And then I say, yes, it's me. Boom, recognized. So that's how you can quickly send. Again, I like Robinhood for getting the money from the bank account on here real quick, buy the USD and then send it to the exchange, and then vice versa. I would send it from USDC to Robinhood to put in my bank. But we're gonna wait for that to come through. Like I said, normally they're pretty quick. Solana is not the. But we'll take advantage of while that's doing that. I'm going to show you guys the ones that I already have set up. I already have a couple that are in the red a little bit. I started them a while ago, but when you're running them, once you're in the trade part and you're either in spot trading or in the trading bot, either one of these will be very similar. You have the options right here as well. It's the same part from this is right here. Manual is how you will manually place your trades, limit market buy and sell. Or if you're in your bot, you come over here and you can check detail to bring them up, and this will show you what's going on with them. And this is what these grid bots um, are doing basically. They're not an interactive bot. They're not some kind of AI trying to target the pattern and do quick trades and stuff. What they are doing is they're automatically placing the orders for you to fill that order book that we're talking about. Because when you look on some of these exchanges, like this is Biconomy, for example, and TXC over here, you can see this is the order book right here. These are the buys and these are the sells. And you can see the amount of TXC and that's sold at each level and each price. And when you see the price kind of jump quite a bit and not be as full, because we go from 21,418 to 21,595 in just a couple orders. But if you look on the Weebot one, you can see that the 2333, 2332, 2333, 2334, 2335, that's because there's a lot of these bots that are placed in here creating that more full, the farther out the decimal is in the same penny, in the same dollar range kind of thing. And that's where that full order book benefit comes. So if somebody comes in here and sells, there's enough support to hold that. And as much as everybody wants to sit there and say, no, only buy, don't sell, hold forever, you have to sell to get new people in. There has to be sell orders. The whole goal is obviously buy it and sell it for more than what you bought it for, but you have to sell. And so we need these full orders. So yeah, boom, look at how there it is. So again, now that the money's in there, I come over here on the trade side. Sorry for jumping over real quick, but convert. This makes it nice and easy to change my 505 USDC. TXC is paired on Pinex and Weebot by USDT. Biconomy and XT are two exchanges that use USDC for TXC. So just always check that whenever whatever exchange you're on. Make sure you know the correct pairing. I'm going to hit max 505. I'm going to lose $3, $2.82 or 88 cents. And now I have my USDT so that I can go in and create a bot. So now boom, trade, bot. And so you see the AI strategy and you're gonna be like, well, you just told me that it's not an AI bot. It's not interactive like that. What these AI strategies are is basically Weebot or Pinex or whoever, they took the chart for the last, this one's a 30-day one. So basically, if you look at the last 30 days, they took a screenshot of this, boom, sent it to ChatGPT and said, what is the best grid strategy to trade this ticker? And based on the price movement, you could click on it and you could hit copy if you want to, and it'll just automatically do it. I like doing it just to see, but I always come down here to where it says copy parameters, and on Pinex it's a little different, but you can see the parameters over here. We'll do copy. And instead of having, oh no, it's the same now. Okay, never mind. Joke's on me. But if you click on that where it says the parameters, you can see that it is doing, where does this, it doesn't tell me my grid size. Oh, this is an infinity one. That's why I clicked on the wrong one. Sorry. Copy. This is what I meant. So it's going to tell me that this is what it wants me to do. If I click right here on parameters, this will show me what they suggest, is what I like doing. So this is the price range that ChatGPT is suggesting, 12 cents to 45 cents, 190 grids. So they typically, with this really choppy, small movement pattern, it's more beneficial to have more grids. More grids, the grids is basically orders. So when you come over here, we're going to go back. I don't want to do the infinity. I'm going to do this one right here, the most popular. It's basically just creating my own that I'm using based on what I've seen for the price. Just to give you kind of an example, the price is held really strong above 20 cents. So whenever you're entering a less than $1 price, you have to do the zero first. So you do zero. We're just going to do one. And then I always just like doing this so I can see. But I'll do 18 cents basically, but I just throw in the extra eights because it just helps me remember my numbers. And then you look back and you can see that we hit 30 cents, but we didn't get over it. So anticipating a move similar to that or higher than that, depending on how much I'm going to be able to watch this and how big I'm doing on the grids. If I'm coming in with like $500 like I am, and I'm trying to do say that 200 grids, you need to have a wider price range. Otherwise, the orders are going to chop on top of each other. If I'm coming in with less grids, and because I'm only trying to bring in like $25, I would do a tighter price range. So we do 0.333. And then you can see like 25 grids only requires $40. So if I do even less grids, right here on the total investment, you can see it's gray and faint, but that first number that it's telling you is the minimum required to set this up. So for something that's in the price range of where we're at, that you could start with minimal effort, you could do a 15 grid for 25.3, so $26, and just get started. And so what that's going to do is it's going to place all these orders around a 2.9% move. I'm going to do a little bit bigger because I'm optimistic. I'm not going to do that. I meant to do that. We're going to do that. And I'm going to do 88 grids. I'm biased a little bit. If I'm only going to do one or two bots, I like having this first number up between 0.3 and 0.5%, kind of depending, for that profit per grid. That way it's not doing too much, too choppy, too small, and it seems like they're actually worth it. So yeah, I'm gonna do 99 grids just because it's kind of a fun number. And then we're gonna do 500 because I have 501. Might as well do all of it. No, we'll do the 500 just because it's a good number. Then you hit create. It'll bring you to this, which is some parameter confirmation. Basically, it's just wanting to show you what it's doing. What it's taking of that $500, 81% of it is starting in TXC, and about 18% of it is going to be reserved to place more orders. So when you hit continue, boom, it starts placing it. You got to give it a little while because it's actually placing orders and going through the order book. It's going into, it's eating these up right now in those smaller chunks. When you look at the detail, again, I'll bring up, so this is the one that's building, right? Probably this one right here is the one that's trying to start right now. This is one that I already have going. This one's been going for 4 days and 21 hours and 53 minutes. Through trading, by creating the sell and then rebuying, it's made over $8 in profit. Because it bought the majority of the coin above the price that we're at right now, it's technically holding a negative profit and loss, but it's actually created profit in the middle of it going down. So if this was to continue for a whole year, that's what this would be, is you would look at 137% profit on a whole year of running of running this frequency in this trade. Um, and so here's your little overview: how much TXC is in there, how much USDT is in there, the break even price for my holding. This holding number to be profitable, I need to be over 24.88. And you can see in these placed orders right now, because the prices came down from where I started it, um, at this current rate, I have less buys because I've already been placing a lot of buys. I need the price to go up and start filling in some of these sell orders. And again, as this sells, it'll create a new buy. So I will go from 9 buys and 31 sells to 10 buys and 30 sells as it goes through. These are the transactions that is done. 57 transactions in the last 24 hours. Since I started it 4 days ago, 216 transactions, with 43 transactions per day is my average. And these are the actual ones. The price of what it was, the small fee that comes out of it for them doing the bots for me, which is taken before my profit. So when you see like that 0.4% that I was talking about, that's after they take their fee. So every transaction I'm looking at, I should be getting about 0.4% profit. Or then this one is 0.35% profit. But the last step, and I'm going to show you guys this, as you can see down here, you can set the take profit and the stop loss if you want to. If you're running it and watching it, you don't really have to. If you're watching the price and you're expecting it to go up, you could set the take profit close to your upper limit. And what that'll do is it'll sell everything, and then you'll be back to holding USDT, and you can restart a new bot or hold. Um, if you end up not doing it and it goes above, you have TXC and you have USDT. You're never gonna just not have anything if it goes out of the range. If it goes out of the price range that you set, it automatically just pauses. It doesn't have any transactions above or below the price that you set. So if it goes below, you're just holding. If it goes above, you're just holding. But one of the things that you want to do is this part right here, the reinvest profits automatically, meaning that every day it's going to take my profits and deposit them. So this one, now that this one is completed, I can look through and I can see my placed orders. As you can see, lesser buys, most of them are sells because I bought a majority of TXC first. So I need to sell some before it can create buy orders. And I haven't done a single transaction yet. My initial cost is about that 23.75. But on this parameters, you can see that this isn't selected. And I just always select that because part of what you're doing by accumulating and making these buy lows, sell high, rebuy low, part of it is you're accumulating coins at a faster rate than what you're mining, most likely. As you can see, in 4 days, I've already reinvested $8.24 at 25 cents a coin. That's 35 coins that I've accumulated in 4 days. For those of the TXC community that have the mining seats, we're getting about zero point 0.4 coins a day, whereas the bot is getting almost at least probably a coin or 2 coins a day almost at some rate. But yeah, always just check this. And if you don't have it checked, it's no problem. You could always check it at another time. Um, and it'll reinvest for you and create some profit, or at least accumulate some coins. Um, but these ones are simple. There's nothing super crazy with these bots. It's literally just automatically placing orders and replacing orders so that that order book is full. It's not some kind of crazy interactive where it's trying to precisely time a rebound and make a buy and sell quick. It's just placing orders for you so that it maintains that order book kind of thing. I didn't even pay attention to the chat, so if you were in there, Brandon, I appreciate that. If you got anything to add, jump in there.
Yeah, so because that was a question that we got, somebody missed.
Oh,
Some of y'all, it might be Lonnie might be going a little fast,
sorry.
but ba basically. And just to be clear, there is a video on this that goes into more detail about setting up the bots.
Mhm.
So that's why he didn't go into defining everything how I normally do. But um, somebody asked a question because we're a part of our community, we do automated trading. And so in the automated trading that we do that y'all are used to, it is analyzing price action to try to find, like he said, those rebounds and those places to input a buy or a sell order in order to achieve profit. In this case, the grid bots, the point is to fill the order book. The point is to drive market activity, and the bot will arbitrage and will take profit when it as it goes through the grids. So the grids are basically places to put orders. You know, uh, there's a way that it's dividing it up. So I would highly recommend that you use AI to help you explain it like I'm five in terms of how it's working because some of y'all need to know how it works in order to do it. I'm one of those people where I don't need to know how it works. I'm just going to follow the instructions because I want the result. And the result we want is we want market activity. And so WeBot is a smaller market, but if we bring enough of us to create these grid trading bots, we can make it a substantial market to actually be a place to help us gauge the price of the coin. So like right now, I made 3 cents already. I just set up a bot basically very mirroring, very similar to what Lonnie's doing, and it's doing the same thing. You know, I already have one transaction here, and it was a buying at 24 cents, right? So it put in one order. And so it's going to wait for the price to move in such a way to input a sell order. So they already have sell orders pending, right? And so, um, let's see. And we're looking here, we can look here at the placed orders. Right now we have a lot of sell orders. So it's looking for buy orders to match. And so, um, like if we look right here, I know we can't see it, but if we look at the
Oh, do you
order
want to share your
book,
screen? I'm sorry. I think I took that.
it's all good. Um,
Oh,
we're
stop.
on.
You should be able to. You're a host.
Yeah, 1 second.
I got distracted.
Okay,
I was eating candy.
all good. All right, can you guys see that? So if we look here, these are placed orders. Now, um, educate me on this, Lonnie. These are not my placed orders. These are just placed orders that
Those
have
are
been
yours.
done
Those
on.
are your bots orders. Those are your
Yeah, because
actual.
there's
Yeah.
yeah. You have transactions here and then you have placed orders. So placed orders means that this is what we want to happen, but these haven't been filled yet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Those are your orders in the order book. And then you can kind of see on a little scale which way it's going. So you can see that the price is closer to your buy side order filling than it is to your sell side. Your buy side is 1.4%. Now it's moving the other way. Your sell side
yeah,
is 1.8%. So yeah, those are your actual orders sitting in the book, ready to be filled.
right. And so now we see it's fluctuating based off the price movement right now. So we could see looks like one of my orders just got filled. Or it's adding more. It may be canceling some orders, so it looks like it canceled a buy order to put in on the sell side. So
No,
even though right now,
price went down. Yeah, it filled you.
yeah, so that's fine. Because right now I'm not really too concerned with making money off of
Yep.
this immediately. We're really concerned about driving order activity. So it's playing around uh with these bots, making your own. You can make multiple, and then you can also copy some of the ones that were shown already. And we're keeping it real simple. We're really just trying to drive market activity. And so It's going to require us putting in a little bit of liquidity. But one thing you can do, guys, is if you're receiving a substantial amount of coin from the mining, you can deposit TXC also onto the exchange and also convert that into Tether and use that to trade. So I'll probably be doing that here in the future, but uh, I just want to show you guys the goal. This is the goal is to drive market activity. It's really quite simple. It's not a arbitrage strategy or some sort of AI we're not doing market analysis or anything like that because there's just not enough activity for there to really go, news is not going to impact besides news on the project, news in the world, what's going on in the gold market or in Iran or whatever is not going to affect this. This is a grassroots project, and you guys are helping us be a part of that.
Yeah, the way that I kind of the analogy that I like to use for like a market and the liquidity is if you think of the market's liquidity as a body of water, when nobody knows about it, it's a pond and it's small and it's that tight community, but nothing's coming into it besides what, when it rains or what somebody adds like a reservoir. When it becomes like a lake and there's that steady stream that's coming into it and it's big enough that it gets the outside attention, that's because it's a strong enough body that it's going to hold and it's not going to dry up. And when you have smaller liquidities, markets like this, they're not appealing to the big crypto guys, those big Bitcoin guys, because they don't want to see the market move. If they come in with $10,000, move 20%, because then they can't get it out. They can see profits and they're like, oh, I'm up 10%. I want to take it out. Oh, I'm going to lose all my profits by the time that I actually sell all that coin. So in order to be appealing to a big, a big fish or a big player, the stronger the liquidity is, has to have that steady turning in volume and action. And you can't see, like, if you go into the manual side and show the chart, you might have to go over to the trade and then go manual to bring up the chart. Spot trading, on the spot trading. There you go. Yeah. If you look to like do the 15-minute candle duration, just above you, up, or no, actually up. There you go. You could actually see those dead periods where we have no volume. On the bottom of your volume, there's one TXC was sold. One TXC was sold in that whole 15-minute period. And again, this is one of the smaller exchanges that doesn't have as much action. But if you look at like Bitcoin on WeBot or on Pionex, uh, that that's one of the highest volume activities for Bitcoin is on this because people are using these grid bots for the bigger ones too. It's not like it's a little niche that's only working for Texacoin. But it's really beneficial to Texacoin the most because the more of those orders can be filled. So when somebody's looking at it and it's at a 25-cent price, one sell that pushes it down to 20 cents is crazy. But if people can sell and it stays at 25 cents and just those third, fourth, and fifth decimals are all that's changing, then the optics of it look a lot stronger and it's steadier, so people can actually take out their profits. Then they're more comfortable parking it and bringing in more money to build that up some more, and then you can get up to that 30-cent level. And when you can buy and sell and it stays and only the third, fourth, and fifth decimal point are all that's moving, then it goes up to the next level, and that's how these projects will continue to level up. But when one single cell can move the thing 10 or 15% based on $500, that's not going to be appealing to most of the big players in the space.
Yeah. So we need more participation. So even if you can throw in $25, $50, $100, that can make a huge difference. Because it's driving the order book because the price is so low, you're still dealing with multiples of a coin with a dollar, right? You're dealing with four coins to a dollar, basically, almost five coins to a dollar at this point. And so injecting some of the coins that you've been holding or just putting a small amount in here and getting these grid bots going can make a huge difference. And then once we start to get enough market activity, we're going to start to see those bigger players starting to come in, and then we'll really start to see the price move.
Yeah.
And probably start moving to the upside because a lot of them will start to see that there's more money coming in, and when more money comes in, price naturally drives up. Usually, a lot of people like to look at market cap. Price is a part of price is indicated on how much money is in the market and how many units are available to trade. So, there's not a lot of right now we have about $10,000 shy of $10,000 a day in volume, which is nothing. That's that's basically nothing. So you're looking at 40,000 coins a day being turned over in a crypto project that is issuing out probably a lot more than that. I have to look at the mine. I'd have to look at the chart how much is being minted every day, but quite a bit more is being minted than what's being traded at the moment. So we
Oh,
want to
yeah.
see the inverse, where we want to see more being traded than being minted.
Yeah, the kind of going average is right around, or the goal is to be about 95,000 coins. There's been some pool and some networking maintenance that they've been doing. So the coin yield has been closer into the 80,000 a day. Um, and and I think we're trading, what is it, $162,000 a day. So I mean, we are outpacing the coins per day traded now. But
All the
again,
markets, right?
yeah, not as far. We were, I think, the back when the price was up there a little bit back in December, I think we were averaging around 74,000 coins a day. So I think we're closer to probably what is it, 162. So that's closer to like 500,000 coins being traded a day. So much better coin turn now. But again, it's because the price is quite a bit lower now. Um, I was gonna say something kind of cool, and then I think I forgot what it was. It'll come back to me.
All good. Um, this is not very flashy, guys, so I don't really have much to show here other than um, one thing I do want to I want you guys to play around with this as well. I need to as well. I'm gonna be messing around with Weebot and just looking at, GridBot is what we set up. That's 24/7. There's this one is auto reinvesting, right? So this is just I'm assuming this is just buying.
Like a dollar cost average kind of thing.
Yeah, you're just dollar cost averaging into buying the asset, which is probably what I'll do too, because I still intend to stack TEXIT.
That one's kind of
Um,
cool. So it's like, so your first order, say hypothetically, is 1 unit. Every time it goes down a certain point, it increases the unit. So on your next buy, it's two, and then the next buy, it's four, and then the next buy, it's eight. That's what the martingale one is it doubles as you go down your unit size on the orders.
that's awesome. Yeah, and they have different, looks like they have different AI strategies that you can use, as well as making your own the price scale. And I highly recommend using AI to help you understand what these parameters are when you're setting them. All this is just a bunch of math. Take profit ratio, profit scale, how much you're investing. It's just all mathematics. So I highly recommend you use AI to help you with that.
Yeah,
But
you could either take a screenshot of it and send it to your chat GPT or your Grok or whoever you want to use and ask it and just say, hey, I'm setting up a grid bot. What is a good strategy for this recent price action is kind of the question that you'd ask. Like I said, it's built in that it does the AI strategy. The 7 day is based on the last 7 days, the 180 days based on the last 180 days, the last 30 days is based on the last 30 days. And that at least give you an idea of the parameters. Kind of a general rule of thumb, really choppy price, a lot of parameters. Really, if the price is moving up and down a lot, well then it's better to use less grids and capture those bigger swings. Um, so yeah, the kind of my favorite go-to that I like to do. Like right now, I'm setting up. Oh, I've been just setting up a lot, kind of in the same range, and all of them have kind of been in that 60 to 100 grids, because I'm just trying to fill in that liquidity and fill in that support and add that order flow. But as the price gets going and the market starts actually steering itself, the strategy that I like doing is having multiple bots. So I'll have one setup that is only about 25 grids, so that if the price ever does spike because of a large, some volatility comes in, somebody comes in with a large order and spikes the price really high, I want to take advantage of those big profit swings and not get chopped up through the order flow. So I'll set up one at like 25 grids, and then I'll set up another one in the 50 to 75 grids, so that one will catch some more of the swings and some of the flows and the pivot points. And then I'll set up that one like 100, 125. I personally, I just haven't done a lot of them over 125, even though AI says to do 150 to 200. I've kind of stayed around the 90 to 120 range, just because I like seeing that 0.25 to 0.4% per transaction profit. Um, in my head, it just makes me feel better. I don't really have a rhyme or reason beyond that. But by having multiple bots, you're catching all of the different price actions. So like right now, the price is very choppy and very slow. There's not a lot of buys going on because a lot of people are kind of waiting and seeing, the joke that I always do is nobody thinks that the price is going to be $1 until it's 99 cents. The people that are going to make the most money though are the ones that can see $1 on the horizon and buy when it's 20 cents, um, versus that person that buys at 99 cents and is only going to make a penny. So the risk to reward is there in my eyes, and that's why I'm kind of stacking up and building in now. But as this grows and we start getting that order flow starts coming back in, the confidence for buyers comes in, and we start seeing the buy side be more heavy. That's where the multiple bots will benefit, because that again, that lower 15 to 30 grid, or however you want to do it, there's not like an exact science. Like if you accidentally did 15 and somebody else did 20, neither one of you is smarter than the other. You're creating the liquidity and capturing those, and there's not a big enough difference in that range that you're going to be like, oh, I got it wrong, or oh, I messed up, or anything like that. So the cool thing is right now with the project being so young and the market just not being built yet, um, really anything that you put into it is contributing and helping, and you should be able to see some profit once the price action starts building and momentum kicks in. It should be pretty fun, I think, for everybody seeing a lot of green. Like right now, it's been a kick in the shin seeing more red than green on these things, but it'll be fun to see the pivot and the rise.
It'll get there, especially if we continue to just bring awareness to the project. And we just have to give time also to um, the project itself to be able to say, to be able to show that it is a viable project. And I think that's getting back to the why the project was created. The project was originally created to make something that's actually usable. That's something that Bobby really was pushing whenever I was watching his material, was creating a network and a coin and a medium of exchange to actually use in real life, and not just for speculating on the market to make money, right? Like you're actually buying goods and services. And right
Yeah, the
now
peer-to-peer
that
stuff.
yeah, peer-to-peer stuff. And right now it's kind of on the very local level where a lot of the people who are accepting it are local vendors in Texas. Um, where once we get to a point where we see online vendors, especially for vendors of high demand items like precious metals, start to take the coin, you're going to see a ton of volume come in because people are going to see that, oh, the coin's at a low price. Let me buy it because I want to buy this gold and I want to, I want to hold on to that coin because it's going to go up and then I can get my money's worth out of it to get what I'm wanting.
Yeah, and hopefully, the down. I don't know how much your community knows about the project, but one of the cool things about Texacoin is the founder of a layer one is creating a layer two on his layer one, and you just don't see that very often in projects. what is the Vitalik for Ethereum has never created a layer two, and Ethereum is full of layer twos. He's invested in a few that he liked, but he's never created one, and he's a smart man. But Bobby actually is pushing out the utility for this network to show the community how to do it and where that comes from. And the community currency thing is kind of what it's built on. The peer-to-peer stuff is great, and it's there, and that's going to be huge, and people are going to really jump onto that. One of the things that Bobby's vision is on keeping money local in your community. So from a fair to festival to that small business to that mom and pop thing, in order to keep that money from escaping, create a token that can be spent within that community and stay within that community with the low transaction fees, and then no outside bank kind of dipping their hand in it. And that's utility. And in the crypto world, as soon as they hear utility, the world hears value. And the fact that there's already two contracts signed, and even with the cease and desist going on, neither one of them broke ties. They had every opportunity to break ties already, and they haven't yet. So that sounds like they're very optimistic in the project still. So that should be reassuring to a lot of folks that they didn't run. And when that payment system comes through, and you start seeing those transaction fees start hitting, even though the transaction fees themselves, because they're so small, are not going to just balloon the price. What's going to happen is people are going to see that it's being used. It's going to be not only advertising where people are like, "Hey, this TXC thing is really cool. I was using that at that festival the other day. Instead of buying one, I'm going to buy 10. I like this thing. I can use this. Hey, I'm gonna go. I could use this for coffee now. I'm gonna buy 100. All of a sudden it gets exciting and people start doing it. And then
Yes.
people that are not even within the community are gonna sit there and be like, those guys got something going on. They have utility that's value. That's crypto bro 101. Utility is value, and they're gonna jump all over it as soon as the utilities start rolling out and get exciting. And then that's where that outside liquidity, people are going to take profits from Ethereum and profits from Bitcoin, and then come park them in Texacoin. And that decimal place moves really quick in one of these projects once they start getting good news instead of the kick in the shin.
Yeah. And so, also, this is something that I tell people all the time, especially when it comes to business and finance. If it's like poison in the beginning, it'll be nectar in the end. This is a natural law in nature. So and that's why we saw at the beginning when it was very hype marketing and, oh, you guys need to get in on this. We're seeing the price go up, path to 13 or whatever. That was really nectar in the beginning, poison in the end situation, because they were hyping up this thing like it couldn't go down
Yeah.
because the founder was trying to adjust certain price levels. But um, that's just not the case. And maybe one day we'll rectify that as to how that really happened. To me, it was just a disconnect between the founder's vision and messaging and the way it was marketed by particular individuals. It was marketed as just a, come on in and just make money doing nothing. But there was no education on the project. There was no how do you get the market involved? How
Mhm.
is the market even being created? Because if you look at Coin Market Cap, it says that only like what, like 100 people hold the coin or something. Like it
That's a
doesn't
little
have.
so that's a little tricky because they haven't gotten coin market cap verified yet. It's self-reported, but Uniswap, one of the exchanges that they have the wrapped token on, actually reports. So coin market cap is mixing some self-reported data also with the reported data. So a lot of the holders, the 340 holders, those are just the wrapped TXC tokens. So look, optics of it again look really bad because it's misleading. I don't have a single wrapped token. I don't have a single WTXC. Um, and there's, I mean, no real reason to it. I never did it, so I could go make one right now and we'll make it 341 holders. But to me, the value is in the native token still because it hasn't been built yet, and we want those numbers to show. We want the volume to come in. and grow and have that consistency, and get back on a forward and growing trajectory up and to the right kind of thing.
Absolutely. Now, I want a little bit of a poll here. Is there anybody in this group that is not a miner of TXC? Is there anyone here who is not a miner? Because I want to take this opportunity to give you guys, okay, so we have one to participate in the community. So we got a couple people.
Oh,
Um, so if you would, Lonnie, I would love for you to share the Discord.
okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so we're gonna share the Discord here. Everybody's welcome, miners and non-miners alike. Um, uh, if you want, and I think what would be wise, Lonnie, is if how I don't know how the process works with getting people on the Telegram. Who's responsible for doing that, like checking to make sure someone's a miner to get onto the Telegram channel?
So that comes in the welcome email, when they sign up.
Okay, got it. So go ahead and just search Mine TXC in your email if you are a miner, if you want to join the Telegram channel. I would love to have some of my community's voices in there. That would be great. But this Discord is for everybody.
Yeah, this is a little Discord that I started. I'm still kind of building it, and I'd love Brendan to contribute. He's got all the things that I'm looking for in this group. Um, what I'm not a financial advisor like Brendan is. I'm kind of just a self-taught day trader. I just love markets. I love whether it be an investment or any kind of wealth building opportunity. And so it's one of the things that I kind of put together, whether it's stocks, precious metals, crypto, TXC specifically, real estate. If you need an entrepreneurial sounding board, I just want to have like-minded people to be able to come together and chat, chat wealth building, super casual. There's no, I mean, if you have a project that you come across and you want to share it, share your affiliate code with it. Nobody's going to be pushed away from that. It's really just kind of a welcome kind of landing spot, sounding board. People like Brendan, if you're certified and you got cool paperwork to say how much smarter you are, 100%, let everybody know. And then if not, feel free. I think more eyes is always going to be more welcoming, and you're going to see, yeah, you can see general for just chit chat, stocks, crypto, precious metals. TXC, the affiliate program was the part that the cease and desist is obviously targeted on, so that's kind of paused. Not really talking about that. Real estate, entrepreneurs. And then if you see in the background, I like dogs. If you want to share your dogs and just kind of relax and stop talking about money, I always welcome a good dog picture or video. Oh, cool.
Excellent.
See you guys in there. Very cool. So, yeah, I also got I share my YouTube videos. I haven't been sharing them in there. I've been kind of slacking. Um,
And
that,
for the record, guys, all my license does is teach me how to legally collect fees for the service.
um,
It doesn't actually when you study, all it teaches you is what financial products are available in the securities market and how to legally take fees and how to like register with the state. It doesn't actually teach you how to manage wealth or like actually be financially affluent. So for that, you
I
should
still
join.
think you're smarter than others that don't have it.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, you do have to be able to retain information and then also be willing to make financial decisions.
I've been
Uh,
posting the videos from my little trading saga. I'll show you guys a real funny thing. February is always a terrible month for me. I freaking suck in February, but see if we could get this to go up. I started this in December 22nd with, I've added a little bit, just a couple $100. And you can see I got all the way up to 6,000, and then February happened and I'm stupid. It's a common theme around me. I really need to take a vacation from the markets in February. I don't even know why I participate.
Yeah, there's so much news and stuff happening.
But yeah, that's my fun little small account. I started that. What I was doing is every time I made profit, every week I came in and I funded the that we bought account. That all that money that's in there is from day trading options and stuff. So I follow everything though. I do like day trading cues. I do a little orb strategy, little fun quick ins and outs. I've done the swing trades and long investments. I do silver and gold. I track those. My dad is a huge silver coin guy, collector, um, and yeah, self business, small business owner myself. So anytime anybody wants to talk about starting a business and what to do, or everything, I love being a sounding board. Not saying I'm the smartest guy there, but I love talking to other people because I think more people talking about it is how smart ideas kind of come from, or where they come from is when two people start talking about it, even if they're not the smartest two people in the room. So welcome to always contribute. Anybody has any ideas, feel free to kick those in there. I love it. Cool. So yeah, just participation is kind of the thing. I know a lot of people that have seen some of these Zooms that I've done before. I do these every Friday. I'd love to have Brendan on anytime he wants to jump on these. Um, can get more in depth. I know I did kind of go fast because I've done a couple of these with the bots for some people. And I do have this recording. I'll get this posted and sent over for everybody. Um, introduction, I'd be
Yeah. So if you're in the Discord, you can go to the crypto channel. Uh, um, well, Audrey, if you saw, you can literally just copy a bot that's already there. So
yeah. You can
don't.
copy the AI one.
I,
If you go in, I could walk through it one more time real fast. So when you're over here, once you're funded and you have your USDT, it's this one right here is the one that we're trying to build to push up the uh, the liquidity. So that copy strategy right here that it tags you, this is based on the last 7 days that ChatGPT looked at the chart and said the price action would fit. This is the last 30 days. This is the last 180 days. You can hit start copying and it'll bring you up to it. You can see that you have to have quite a bit of money to start these because if you click on the parameters tab, it'll show you that it wants like 200 grids. And this is the price range. When you have more grids, you have to have a wider price range because you're putting in more orders. So that's where you have to have more funds. I kind of tell everybody to start, especially as you're getting a feel for it, start closer to the price range. So, we're fighting around this 0.22. So if you have to, if you're under $1, you have to do zero first. So 0. You could do 1.5. We'll just do, and I always like filling in the rest. And then you could do 0.3. And that just gives a little 15-cent range from below the price that it's currently at now and above. And then the grids sounds really tricky, but it's nothing other than orders. So the amount of orders that you're placing, depending how much you want to do, I think you got to try to come in with at least 15. With you could do you could do less, but I think 15 is a good number to come in at a minimum. And for that one, your minimum requirement in this price range is now $28.15. And then you can see like as it goes up, you do 25, it goes up to 44. So kind of about every 15, $20 is about 10 grids worth that you could do in this. And you could do 50, just kind of put it in the middle. You need $86.61 as your minimum. It shows you right under here the profit per grid after the fee is deducted. So you see kind of a 0.89% to 2% in that range of what's ordered. So if the price moved very suddenly, it would wipe out your whole grid order. It would automatically replace them as fast as it could. But technically, if somebody came in with like $10,000 and tried to buy this up really fast, it would blow through that grid size. But it would obviously it's going to try to replace them again. But that's kind of where the lower grids will benefit because they have that higher top range to capture that profit. And that's why I always like saying I try to do multiple. I try to have like a 25 and then I try to have like a 75. So if you do that, that's like $150. You could have a 25 and a 75. You could have two bots running. And then when you get some more money and you want to come in with that bigger one, then you're going to need $211 to build that one. And then you just hit go right here, create. And then once it's created, come back in here and you're going to watch it. It's going to have to fill in the orders. You'll see this going all over the place and everything. And once it's kind of set and running and it shows you that it's active on your timer right here, then you have your overview over here that you can read. You can see the allocation and everything. You can see these are the orders. These are your grids. So the amount of grids that you placed is all in here. It has it facilitated for buys and sells. As soon as the sell happens, boom, it replaces it with a buy. If the buy happens, it replaces it with a sell at that little profit point that you kind of said it was on. Transactions, this is everything that's happened so far. So you can see how much you're making per transaction and everything. And then parameters, if you want to change it, if you ever have to change it. One thing that I've noticed, especially more so now with the lower volume and activity, editing the bots sometimes will force close them. So if it force closes it, you're just going to end up with your TXC and your USDT, and your orders will cancel. It's happened to me a couple times on canceling some of these larger ones or editing some of these larger ones. But the only thing that I just suggest to everybody, this is you can keep your USDT on the side and you never have to do it. But if you want to kind of keep accumulating more coins and keep doing it, you can't do it when you set it up. You always have to do it after it's set up. You can come in here and hit reinvest profits automatically. And then every day it's going to take all of your arbitrage profits from the bot's activity and buy more coin. So not only are you buying low, selling higher, buying low, selling higher, and accumulating in that gap, then it's taking its profit and boom, buying you a chunk at a time also. But yeah, the Darnell, I think you said her name was Audrey. I have a couple of these videos up. They're in the Discord, and I could always send you some, or if you ever want to reach out to me, feel free, and I can do a little one-on-one walkthrough with you. I don't mind at all going through it.
Yeah, Lonnie's definitely a pillar in the project.
Trying to
We're
help. I just don't want if you want to participate, I want you to make sure that you know everything. And I would never get anybody into something without them having enough knowledge that they could tell somebody else about it.
absolutely, and we'll bounce back, guys. I love these are great opportunities. These are great buying opportunities. Aside from the grid bots, I'm just going to be periodically using the what was the other one called? The the
Oh,
martingale.
martingale.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm gonna be using that for sure.
that's,
Because,
that's a fun
I
one.
did this with XRP. I stacked from 30 cents to 60 cents. I just stacked and stacked and stacked until finally that fundamental move happened where, they dropped the lawsuit.
Yeah,
So
and
that can happen at any time. At any time, the Texas might be like, you know what? Whatever. You guys can start selling again. And then
but
boom,
it'll
you
go
know.
quick. It'll go quick. This one's kind of a fun one I've messed with a little bit too, especially for people who like multiple projects. Um, this one you can pick up to like 5 coins, I think, at a time. And what you'll do is you'll be like, I want to have Bitcoin and Texacoin. And you'll say 50% Bitcoin and 50% Texacoin. So as it moves, as Bitcoin profits, it'll take the profit. And then it's like, oh, I'm low on Texacoin. Then it'll buy more Texacoin. Oh, I'm up on Texacoin and I'm down on Bitcoin. And then it'll buy and sell. So as they move and profit, it'll accumulate the other one, trying to maintain whatever ratio you set of one. So that's kind of another one that I've been kind of messing with. That's a little bit fun to mess with a couple different coins, especially as the other coins start moving. You can take that liquidity kind of from one of the bigger projects and bring it into Texacoin on the side directly that way. Yep. That's the rebalancing bot, guys. The one that I just said. That's this one right here, rebalancing. And you can add as many coins as you want. You can go, Ethereum and I think you have to search. or maybe it automatically has it in there. Oh, it's alphabetical. Oh, search. There it is. TX, oop, spell it. TXC. And then you go confirm 3 coins, and then it'll default to even between all of them. But you can change however you want to do it. And then you put how much money you want to put into it. This one I need total minimum has to be more than $30, 30 USDT to do it. And I don't, of course, I don't have any. I put it all in that other bot. So that's a fun one that you can mess with too, especially if you like a couple different coins. As they move, it'll just automatically try to keep whatever ratio. So if you say, "Oh, I really like Texacoin as my primary," and then you can do that. This has to. Oh, I can't add very good today. I don't know why I did that. Too used to hitting the repeating numbers. Um, and then you can do something like that. So that's kind of a fun one to mess with, especially if you like multiple projects. And then you can just kind of add money to it as you go. And I think you can do up to 5, if I remember. But they're all in there. More tools you use, the better. And there's no reason to not jump on one. So, does anybody have any questions that they wanted to talk about or see or get an opinion on? I know we've done a couple of these ones. Like again, I'm trying to do these every Friday. Sometimes I'll just talk random crypto stuff, I guess. Not always just market specific and not always bot specific. Because another big thing, is the manual trading part of buying and selling. If you buy it at 25 cents or if you bought it right now at 21 cents, automatic go set a sell order at 24 cents or 27 cents or whatever you feel like capturing some profit and put that liquidity in the market, put it on the order book so somebody has to go get it, make the price go up to your coin, um, your price target. If it's always going to be market sells and market buys, then it's going to be very volatile and whipsaw back and forth. And until there's enough constant, steady orders being placed, um, price will just fall until it finds liquidity. A good chunk of people in here. You got anything else you want to add, Brendan? Or we want to send this off till next time.
Yeah, I think all I want to say is that one thing I didn't get to go into is my trading strategy, just as a trader. Is I am you can call me a swing trader or more of a long-term trader. I don't like to look at daily price action. That's why I set up these automated trading strategies for short-term trading. I'm always looking at the long term. So for me, just looking at TEXIT's chart as an example and seeing how it was able to rise the way that it was. To me, this is a great buying opportunity. So even if you decide not to do any of this grid trading at all, this is a great time to accumulate coin on the market. This is a great time to just place some market orders and just buy the coin at its current market price. If you're a miner, we highly encourage you not to buy the coin off of the Mine TXC platform because that is over the counter, which means it is technically a private transaction. It doesn't actually affect the price. I'm not sure if Texit buys it off the market to give
They
it to
do.
you.
They do.
They
And
do.
it so they and then it's also kind of a bummer. Like it's better for even you to go into the live market because since they have to process that transaction and then go get it, and a lot of times they get it based on the end of the day price, they add like a 5% premium on it. So you don't always get the best price. I know it's convenient for a lot of people, but yeah, your best value and the best impact in the market is going to be going on to one of these exchanges. And you kind of hinted at it earlier, when we were talking about, the unfortunate side of how the project was presented and sold with a lack of true knowledge. Um, there's a lot of people who were left not knowing how to participate on these exchanges. And there's 12 exchanges now that TXC is available on, and and people are not able to get on them and navigate them. Knowing the difference between a market order and a limit order, and how that was going to affect the price. And if you look at that order book, oh, I'm placing it because it's 22 cents, or I'm placing it because it's a dollar. Well, no, how come it's filling way above that? That was an unfortunate event that happened where a lot of people just didn't have that familiarity with it. So that's kind of where I came in, and I wanted to share my knowledge because I want people to participate. And there is an opportunity here, like Brendan was saying, like this is a low of the coin. I mean, this is back to the price where it was back when I started mining. I started mining December of 24, and it was in this price range. It was 9 cents, and then I think January is when it got over 20 cents. It was pretty quick where it got over 20 cents. But nonetheless, this is a huge value where people are able, for a dollar to get 5 coins is 6 months worth of mining right now. Uh,
Yep.
so if you look at, well, $1,000 was what a mining seat was costing, and people that got in kind of in August or July or September, kind of later, even later than that, in October, November, those guys haven't had the opportunity to kind of catch up with the coin allocation, and now it's a huge discount for people to pick up and accumulate. And there's a lot of people who are, see SEC and automatically assume the worst, or Texas State Board, or any of those people want to assume the worst. And again, they've already confirmed that proof of work networks are totally fine, and crowdfunding these projects and group mining is totally fine. The only thing that they're kind of targeting and what they're looking at is, how are you guys going to present and sell these mining seats in the future? You just got to make sure that the verbiage is proper. It's a simple restructure. This could be very easy and a huge win for TEXIT, and the value of this, turns and soars because it passes the test. If you look at worst case scenario, they have to restructure or go to a different route to sell the rest of the mine. Okay, still can do that. Project still going forward. So for the people that see the opportunity in this, huge opportunity again. And again, I'm not the financial advisor to say, go get a second mortgage and load the boat. But the people that make the most money are when you buy when everybody else is selling.
Yes. Um, I agree with that 100%, Lonnie. And then I also, one thing that he mentioned there, which is really important, um, the financial world, there is a huge element of compliance that you always have to be aware of because as of this modern era, the money is controlled by governments. Okay, the money is not controlled by local markets or kingdoms. It's controlled by municipalities and corporations. Okay, so they are the ones who write the rules, and if you don't follow the rules, they will not allow you to benefit from the system. So we need to act within the parameters, and markets are something that are very accessible and are very openly accepted. So definitely try to get your hand in on it and don't allow the FUD to steer your investment decisions.
Yeah, and if you look on social media, it's almost comical. Some of the FUD, a lot of these guys had no idea that Texacoin existed a month ago. They see it, and they're almost like ambulance chasers looking for that. Just want to jump in and say, look over here, look over here, look over here. Look, I told you guys, and they weren't even there telling anybody. And then what they
Yeah.
try to share is they heard a rumor from somebody who heard a rumor about a rumor, and then they try to share it like they knew it was fact, and it's so wrong. It's almost comical how wrong it is in a lot of points. Yep.
Yes.
Clickbait, exactly. They
XRP got that times a million all over Reddit and all over different investment forums and stuff like that. Everyone's like, "No, XRP's never gonna do this." And I'm in a Facebook group. What are those people called? Wall Street Bets.
Oh
I'm in
yeah.
the Wall Street Bets Facebook group, and over there they were crapping all over XRP for months and months and months and saying it was a dead coin. It's never gonna do this. It's never gonna do that. And then boom, a month later, it shot up to $3.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had the last laugh because I was stacking it. So I'm gonna do the same thing here too. I'm just gonna keep stacking it until we see it shoot up, and then we're going to take profit. And then that will drive liquidity by selling into the market. And then um, and then it should absorb and it should continue to go on. It's just not going to go up this linear road that it was advertised. I think that was one of the main mistakes. It was advertised like, okay, at this point it's going to reach this price, at this point it's going to reach this price, at this point it's going to reach this price. And that's where you get into securities territory. That's where you get into this is an investment. And that's when you get in trouble with regulators. And so, lesson learned.
Yeah, easy fix. You know, yeah,
Yeah.
Jason and Jennifer, you guys have the best group that are at least paying attention. Some of the other monitors are not even paying attention. I'm just letting it come out, and it's crazy. So, yep, block out the noise if you can. See the value. The project's there. Here's kind of, oh, this was probably the fun fact that I meant to say when I thought I had something cool to say. The mining equipment that's purchased is over $18 million, I think was a number. And Jason probably knows because I think he remembers. Um, I think it's over 18 million, and our market cap is 12 million. So if you look at book value, if you're talking about like a stock market of something, they do the book value, which is assets and debt. There's over $18 million of equipment owned, not including the land that's owned for a lot of them. And that's real estate that's owned under the project. The project has liquidity backing in assets like gold and silver and Bitcoin. So there's a lot of value that's not even being accounted for. And you know, if you say that there's at least 20 to 25 million dollars of value that the project itself is, not including what it's become, kind of thing, in the future with any kind of forward ratio or look, um, you're looking at this thing should be somewhere between $1.12 and $1.50, just purely based off the value of the mine that it's mining every day. It's mining Litecoin, it's mining Dogecoin, Bells. I think there's going to be a couple others that they can even mine, and um, that's not even been accounted for in the price. So again, just that's the value that you got to see when you block out the fear that people are spreading, and calmer heads prevail and say like, okay, uh, this thing's supposed to be 6 or 7 times what it is right now. It can, I can throw a couple dollars at this thing. Make sure let me get my YouTube up there too.
Very cool.
I
It'll
share
be in the
everything on the
Discord.
YouTube channel. I think I
Look,
turned
I'm
it.
gonna upload this to my community also.
Cool. I'll make sure I get you the link for it as soon as I save it. Um, where do I, or share channel, copy. Uh, cool. Paste. There's some other videos on there too, but the replays will be in there. On the Discord, I'll make sure I start sharing them too. I got to pump that up with some content now that there's some traffic in there. And yeah, uh, excited to see more participation. Excited to see some activity. I like your manual trading. You know what is and the take profit. People that are buying at the value right now, be 100% comfortable selling it at $1 or 80 cents or anything, because when it comes back, you get to buy more. If you bought
Yeah.
it at 20 cents and you sold it at $1, just make sure you buy it back at 90 cents. And if it goes up to $1.10, say, dang it, and then buy some more. There's no
Yeah.
reason that you can't rebuy if it keeps going. You know, there's no reason that you're not, once you sell it, it's not like you're not allowed to come back. Feel free. It's a revolving door. Come and go as you please.
And I'm most looking forward to being able to buy precious metals with the coin. Once that happens, I think the price will really start to go up a lot, personally, because
Yep.
people are going to see that arbitrage difference. They're going to see gold's at 5 grand, But right now, TEXIT's at 20 cents, 25 cents or whatever. And they're going to be like, oh, this is way undervalued. Let me get some of this TEXIT for when it comes up so I can snag some gold.
Yeah, $5,278 is gold futures right now.
Then it's only going to keep going up from there. Well, Um, I have nothing more to add, Lonnie. I think we've gone over quite a bit. I think this is a great value add, and I think, do you just go over in your weekly Zooms just how to trade and getting involved in the market, or are you just talking about the project, or what do you
Last week
just?
I focused on the layer two side, kind of giving an introduction to people on what layer two is in a crypto. I showed off my layer two. I'll show it off again one more time because I don't mind. It's not live yet because um, I need to make sure everything is ready. So I don't have everything finalized. But this stop. You gotta wait. It's almost dinner time. Um, I have a layer two that I'm trying to build on the TXC network where this token will be available. The token will be sold. That money will be used to buy distressed properties. Buying those properties, fixing them up, renovating them, and then renting them. And then the token distribution will earn tiered participation from the monthly rental income. So you're going to see traffic going across the TXC network where rent is paid in either TXC or in this token. And if they are boomers and don't want to have any crypto and they want to pay in cash, they just have to pay more because I'm going to take their rent and go take it to the market and on ramp it and buy it myself. So all the rent from every property owned by the coin is going to be taken through the network itself, constantly flowing that value. I'll be doing a direct sale once I'm able to launch it. Um, the phase one will get this nickel price and then 10 cents and then 16. You guys can see that I like repeating these numbers just because I'm weird like that. And then once phase four is done and complete, I will take it to an exchange and it'll be traded. So that's kind of where that one is. That's one of the coins. I've heard a couple other people building layer twos. So yeah, last week's video, that was this one right here, where I just kind of did a little introductory for everybody in the TXC community, talking to them what a layer two is, kind of the process of what you would think of on how to build one, how a proof of work network is different than like the proof of stake network, and what kind of it values or what kind of security it brings to a layer two token. Yeah, there's the dogs. They're over here crying because it's dinner time. Um, And then I think we did another Zoom a little while ago. I don't remember where it was. There was another couple Zooms. So yeah, the first couple were focused on market participation because I think that's one of the biggest things um uh that's been lacking with the community that they needed to help participate and not just the bots. Like that obviously I really like the bots. I think that's one of the biggest boosts to helping the TXC, the TEXIT community. The manual trading is going to help too, because obviously there's other exchanges that don't have that have even less participation than WeBot and Pionex. And I've kind of been saying a U.S. crypto should be on all the U.S. exchanges with the most dominant volume on those U.S. exchanges. Just optics that I kind of felt, personal opinion. And the U.S. exchanges are kind of lacking compared to Bitmart and MEXC. So getting that volume kind of distributed more properly, and where people can use whatever exchange that they're comfortable with and are able to place both manual trades. Plus, that helps the miners who are sitting there and are mining, um, uh, and wanting to take some profits. If you've been mining for 3 or 4 years, how do you get your tokens to an exchange to be able to create the value? The value that's sitting in your cold storage wallet is kind of an imaginary number that's not really there until you put it on the exchange. The value that it's sitting at right now is not even what it might be when you end up selling it. If you wait 3 or 4 months, are your coins that are sitting in your wallet right now 20 cents or are they $2? Or are they $1? So And then once you take them to the market, are you going to be able to sell 50,000 of them at a dollar, or is it going to be an average of 75 cents? How do you distribute that? So I want people to be able to take their profits. I want people to be able to participate and bring up the value of the coin right now while it's undervalued. So yeah, that's where a lot of my Zooms have been focused on, is that market. But I did the layer two last week just because I thought that would be kind of something fun for people to see and hear the values coming. But anything crypto that you want to talk about or around the project that we could talk about, it doesn't always have to be TXC specific. Even though I try to keep everything kind of in line with TXC and how, because even if you talk about like Solana being a proof of history crypto, how is that similar or different compared to TXC, so people can relate and understand what they have. So even if we're talking about something different, it doesn't hurt to kind of explain it back in TXC terms for the TXC community. So for your community, if they're not at all interested at all in TXC, my feelings won't be hurt. But there still is some stuff that you can learn, whether it be about the types of networks or even just like the trading value. How do you pivot between a 369% of, if I sell every 369 and then I buy back every 248, some of those simple day trading manual trade patterns that you can do that could obviously make you accumulate or profit in your investment portfolio, kind of thing. So it
My
we got a lot
community
of
is
weeks to
definitely
go.
interested. Yeah, we're definitely interested. We just gotta, slow and steady wins the race. So, do you have a regular time that you usually schedule them, or do you,
Yeah. So, well, this is only like my third or fourth week, I think. Um, there's a great group of people, and I think some of them are on this call. I think I saw some of them in New Zealand that love tuning in. So I try to rotate, do one in the morning one week, and then the next week do one in the afternoon. I don't really have a set time because I haven't hammered down a schedule yet. That's probably something that I should book on the calendar. I don't know what time works best for your group. I don't, to step on your toes. I'd love to get you on as much as you can. I thought this was
no, I
great.
mean, we're pretty flexible. Just, when do you usually set the time?
Oh, I'll for sure set. I should always set them by Monday. Give everybody time. I just got to kind of figure out um, the weekly rotation.
Okay. Well, I'll take a poll and see and let you know. Um, I'll take a poll and let you know.
Yeah, that'd be
I
cool.
really, you have to forgive me. I'm going off of no sleep right now on the other side of the
Yeah, you
world.
look tired. I
I
got I
repeat,
got two dogs that are telling me that we have 3 minutes to dinner time, or they're gonna get pissed.
well, I think we'll wrap that up here today, everybody. Thank you so much for this. Lonnie's gonna post this in the Discord. He'll also give me the
Get the
replay, and I'll
link.
post the school community. And in fact, I'll probably post it on my YouTube channel if that's cool with you.
Yeah, do it.
Um,
Do it to it.
yep. So really appreciate it. Thank you guys all so much for participating, and we'll see you guys next week, and we'll see you on the market.
Awesome. See you guys.